Welcome back to Dice of Pixels, episode 14.
14! Woo!
Yay, 14. We hope you all had a fantastic week. Adrian, how was your week?
My week was it was all right.
Excellent.
Did some random stuff around the house, around the property, one might say. Some of it wasn't in the house itself.
The property?
Yeah. I played the interesting game of change my truck's air filter, which was similar to Farming Simulator in some ways.
Also did not come with smell-o-vision, apparently.
No, it didn't. Very easy to do, by the way. But anyways, we're going to talk about some Overwatch. Yeah?
Yeah.
How was your week, Chad?
Specifically, the first one. You didn't specify.
No, it's true.
Overwatch 2.
Overwatch 1 is a game. How was your... First of all, the people want to know. And by the people, I mean me. How was your week, Chad?
My week was fine. How was your week, Sarah?
It was a week.
I didn't say the people wanted to know about her week.
No one wants to know about me.
All right, tell us about Overwatch 2.
Yeah, so Overwatch 2 finally debuted on Tuesday to mostly people having a hell of a time trying to actually get online to play it.
Hang
Jeez,
on.
Imagine that.
Let's be fair here. There were mixed reactions. There were people that were pissed, and then there were people that were mega pissed.
Yeah.
So good mix.
Yes. And it also didn't help that they were DDoSed.
Yeah, which of course they were. Like,
Yeah.
come on, it's a new game.
Yeah. So much so Snoop Dogg went on Twitter and also gave his 2 cents about the Overwatch server status. Yeah, I became incredibly pissed off last night, Thursday night.
Yep.
Mega pissed.
I had tried the night before to give Overwatch 2 a go because I never bought into the hype of Overwatch 1, even though a lot of people, said, hey, this is great, this is awesome, blah, 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 blah. Again, a lot of people in the clan that we're part of, Forever Gaming, they all play it and they enjoy it. So with the price being right for Overwatch 2 free, I said, sure, but what the hell, I'll give it a go. So I tried to log in Wednesday night, impossible. The queues were just insanely huge. And after 45 minutes, the number didn't drop at all. So I just said, the hell with it, I'll try tomorrow. So Thursday night, I go on the PlayStation and open up Overwatch 2 and wait. And it's a huge queue number. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, all right. And it dwindled down and down and down and down and down until finally I actually got in. And then it asked me for my phone number associated with my Blizzard account or to give them my phone number, which I did. And then it told me that I had to restart the program in order to play, which put me at the end of the fucking queue line. I was very upset.
To say the least.
To say the least. So
you didn't enjoy the line simulator, is what you're saying. That wasn't your favorite game.
No.
Okay. Well, yeah, so overwhelmingly, Overwatch 2 has pretty much been shit upon. So we'll continue that trend because none of us have managed to actually play the game yet.
Yeah.
But the best part about Overwatch 2, in my opinion, is that they're stealing people's money.
Yes.
Yeah, on top of all the bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
They are stealing people's money, which is awesome. So for anyone who doesn't know, and if you don't know this and you're playing Overwatch 2, you might want to know this. They screwed up the keyboard focus. So when you're typing in chat, it doesn't actually get exclusive focus from your keyboard. So as you're typing away, depending on what keys you're hitting, you're doing stuff in menus behind the scenes, which means that you can be inadvertently spending your premium currency, aka dollars, and not notice it. So well done. That's just great. They might want to take this one back to the drawing board for a little while and release it when it's ready.
And this is one of the things that kind of bugged me about this is that a lot of people have already said that Overwatch 2 just feels like an update to Overwatch. And it makes sense, all the sense in the world, seeing as Blizzard has basically made Overwatch 1 unable to be played anymore. And Overwatch 2 is this is the game that you're playing now. All your progress and stuff carried over from Overwatch 1. So if you had a ton of hours logged into a certain character in that one, you're still going to see it in Overwatch 2. It's just you can't play Overwatch 1 anymore. So whatever, great. another free to play gem.
Yeah, well, I mean, let's be clear. It is the same game. It's a re-release, and I'd say it is. I'm sure it's not literally the same game. That's not really relevant. But it is essentially the same game. I think the reason that they re-released it was so that they could go to the freemium model, and nobody could complain that they were breaking Overwatch 1 because they had already done that.
Yeah.
So this is, we broke Overwatch 1, but now we're giving you this new shiny that's free to play that's not really free to play.
Yeah. Now, thankfully, so far by the looks of it, a lot of the monetization is mostly cosmetic.
And we know how I feel about those.
Mhm.
Yeah. So until, like, as of now, I'm not going to, because I haven't had a chance to play the freaking game yet. If you've been lucky enough to get in and play Overwatch 2, please let us know below in the comments what you think of it. Is it Overwatch 1.2 or like what,
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I'm sure it's a decent game. I'm sure lots of people will thoroughly enjoy it. I'm also sure that they should have seen the DDoS attack coming and that they probably should have, maybe tested the game before releasing it so that it wasn't stealing people's money.
Yeah. For, Blizzard being a company that seems to specialize in online multiplayer games, they kind of...
Yeah, you might almost expect them to know how to build them at this point.
Right?
Yeah.
And this is what blows my mind. Like, with the popularity of Overwatch 1, you would figure, like, okay, you're going free to play now. So a lot of people that didn't want to spend the money to buy the first game are more than likely going to play the second one. So you figure, like, maybe we should make sure that our servers can, like, handle this kind of extra capacity.
Well, so knowing more than a little bit about how a lot of these servers tend to work, I can, having built some of these things, so I can pretty much guarantee that the way that this works, if they're at all competent at writing software, is that the actual login server takes you into a queue and passes you off to the actual game shard when there is one with capacity, because they'll be running any number of gaming servers that are individual sharded servers. And then the login server will be a central one that then when a spot opens up, it will just shunt the next person in the line over to this.
You could say that they chart them over.
That's right. They chart them over. So the way that usually works is you have your login servers that can run, they're cheap and cheerful servers. You can run 1,000 of them and it's super easy because that's where people are going to hit with DDoS attacks. I suspect, without any evidence of this, what happens with this is that some rookie or idiot, one of the two, didn't fix it so that when it's handing you off from the login server to the actual game server, I suspect that somebody found out that you can like bypass the handoff and just stay connected to the login server. And that's why the queue was never going down. That would be my guess. Because if you just connect to the login server and never terminate that connection and it's not stupid enough to hang up on you, you can just flood the queue with people and then prevent anyone from actually playing the game.
Fun.
That would be my guess, because I don't believe that a company the size of Blizzard would actually be dumb enough to be taken down by a DDoS attack. Because even really big DDoS attacks, there are pretty effective ways to work around it these days. I mean, Cloudflare is an entire company that deals with DDoS attacks from countries that are trying to take your site down. I don't think it was really that. I suspect somebody fucked up the code on the login server, and that's why it wasn't working.
Yeah, so... Another thing that they've also been getting a bit of shit for is asking for your phone number in order to play. Yeah,
which they've now rolled back for some users, which from what I've seen is pretty much everybody.
Yeah, so the statement that they released here, and I'm quoting, we designed Overwatch 2 to be a live service, which enables us to be responsive to a variety of player feedback. We have made the decision to remove phone number requirements for a majority of existing Overwatch players. Any Overwatch player with a connected Battle.net account, which includes all players who have played since June 9th, 2021, will not have to provide a phone number to play. We are working to make this change and expect it to go live Friday, October 7th, which would be today. We will update players once it is in effect. Sorry, that would be yesterday because you're going to be watching this on
I was
Saturday.
going to say, hey, we're time travelers here.
So not a big surprise. I get why they would want people to have like to give the phone number for like cheating or
yes, because it turns out that if you have a phone, you can't cheat at video games.
Well, I'm sure you could, but then you'd just be easier to catch.
Not at all. No, I can tell you why they want your phone number. It's because it's personal data that they can sell.
Oh yeah, probably.
Yeah.
There is zero correlation between having your phone number and cheating.
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
I just assumed it was that.
No, that's just a lie. They are just lying to you. There's no correlation there at all.
Oh, I didn't read anything about that. I just assumed that. That's my own assumption.
Oh yeah, no. Well, so they say it's they usually say it's because of your real name, like this way they can identify
to prove
players.
you're like a real person or some shit.
Which I would be willing to bet that if I were to go to one of the sketchier online services that doled out phone numbers, I could register one and be online in about 30 seconds for about 10 cents. So not an especially effective guard.
No.
Anyways, Overwatch 2, an absolute dumpster fire that will probably be pretty good in about a week.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, like I do want to play it and I will play it like eventually.
I know they give it a shot too.
Yeah. I know they brought the servers down last night, Thursday night, to affect a change that would kind of alleviate the long queue lines.
AKA fixing the bug in their login servers.
Yeah. Yeah. So if that happened, great. Like hopefully sometime this weekend, maybe I'll get a chance to finally try this freaking game. But
yeah, it's actually always surprised me that like I was surprised years ago when World of Warcraft first came out that Blizzard couldn't figure out how to deploy patches without shutting down their servers. At this point, I like sometimes I wonder who the hell is working there. Like they are clearly pretty bad at software. It's kind of disgraceful. So
it's kind of funny because Destiny does it both ways, where they'll have like small patches that they'll implement and the game will stay running, but then they have other ones that are larger, but they'll shut everything down to implement it.
Yeah, I know that. Well, as is typical, I'm willing to bet that they are not shutting anything down to update the patch to include the patch. They're shutting them down for other reasons that they don't want to disclose. So, because I mean, nobody who does anything serious on the internet has actually had to shut down their servers in order to do updates since mid-90s, probably, we'll say.
Yeah.
So, but anyways, it'll be great within a week. It usually is. I mean, some of the same things happened with World of Warcraft when it came out.
Yep.
And then it was fine in a week.
Yep. So. Yeah. Well, yeah. Whenever a new expansion comes out, there's always a queue to get into it to begin with. So.
Yeah. So next week we'll be great. Maybe we'll all three give it a shot. Maybe that's what we'll do on Monday.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, it's a long weekend for us. Because of Canadian Thanksgiving.
Yeah. We do it like the Americans, except smaller.
Yep. So to all our Canadian friends out there, happy Turkey Slaughter Day.
And to the Americans, happy
weekend,
Columbus
Turkey
Day.
Slaughter Day. Because you can kill turkeys any day of the week.
Yeah, this is true. Yeah.
Why not?
I guess.
Yeah. Anyways, Overwatch 2. Anything else for that? I think we pretty much covered it. Horrible in every single way and will probably be amazing next week.
Yep.
Yep.
Do you want to talk about this PlayStation Stars nonsense?
Yeah. So I think Wednesday, either Tuesday or Wednesday, PlayStation Stars went live, which is it's a loyalty program that will allow you to essentially save some money on games by redeeming these PlayStation Gold points. To anybody that's ever bought anything on the Nintendo eShop or even Microsoft, what Nintendo does when you buy a game and you get gold coins and then you can use those coins as to get a discount on another game. This is essentially what PlayStation Stars is. They have these campaigns. So one of them is like saying, they'll word it weird, but it's basically you play a fighting game and they'll have 4 games listed like Mortal Kombat 11, Street Fighter something or other. And when you play that, you check that off and you get some points or they have these collectibles that they're saying aren't NFTs, but they're clearly NFTs. Like
Well, no, they're not, but they're very similar.
Yeah.
Yeah, because these are sort of by definition not NFTs. They're all the stupidity of NFTs without any of the benefits, from what I can tell at least.
They call them virtual collectibles.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's 4 different levels right now. For every 1,250 PlayStation points that you get, that's essentially $5 off a PlayStation game. So
well, it should qualify that a little bit. It's $4 worth of wallet funds.
Yeah.
Or however many dollars.
Yeah.
So you can use it for anything.
Yep.
In theory.
Yep. One thing that kind of caught my eye here, when you reach level 4, they basically give you better PlayStation customer support service by putting you in a chat priority routing because you're on level 4. Yeah. That's kind of weird, but
that's not that weird. I mean, most loyalty programs do that,
like
right?
A VIP thing.
Yeah, I mean, when I had Air Canada status, as soon as you get into their second tier, I think you get like priority booking queues and stuff that you have a special number that you can call. So that's not that weird. That's pretty common with a lot of loyalty programs. It's probably a little weird to see it on a gaming service, but at the same time, it makes perfect sense. I mean, the people who spend more money on your service are the people you want to keep happiest. So nothing too special there.
Yeah. And honestly, it just seems like Sony's playing catch up with the other two insofar as a kind of loyalty rewards program kind of thing.
Yeah, it's just really weird. Yeah. Like, that's my overwhelming sensation of it is like, yeah, cool. It's a discount program, which is good. Yeah. Nobody's going to say like, how dare you give us, free stuff. And the collectibles look fine. There's nothing like, they're a lot like the Steam gift inventory, whatever nonsense.
Yeah.
It's just, it's so complicated. Like, they made it so overcomplicated. It's very strange.
Yeah.
They seem to be very good at doing that. Because even like their different program, PS Plus levels seem weird and complicated to some extent.
They absolutely are, yeah. Well, and PS Plus itself is kind of complicated too, where it's like you can be subscribed to PS Plus and get absolutely zero benefit from it.
Yeah.
If you don't download the games when they're available.
Yeah.
Which I'm guilty of. I had PS Plus for basically a full year and actually probably still have PS Plus, despite the fact that I haven't turned the damn thing on in who knows how long. And I'm getting zero benefit from it because like if I log into my PlayStation Now, it's not like I've got a queue of games that I can go back and grab. Mm-hmm. They're gone because I didn't get them in the moment, which is just so icky in my opinion. It's one of the things I never liked about the PlayStation Plus program.
No. Plus, like, even if you did get those at the time, if you let your PS Plus lapse, you don't have access to them anymore anyways. So.
Yeah, I mean, I'm less grumpy about that aspect, but if it worked properly in the first place, like if it was similar to Xbox Live where you like, here's the list of games that you can play at any given time. And if you cancel, you don't get access to those.
Yeah.
Cool. That makes sense. Yeah. Everybody can figure that one out.
Yeah.
The fact that it's like, yeah, you have all these things in your library, but only some of them you actually own. And you still have to, like, we don't just give you new ones. You have to go and get them. I hate it. I hate it.
Yeah.
It used to be good because, I mean, they had one of the most robust, there was a time when PS Plus was the most robust option in terms of getting good games for your money. I think that ship has sailed.
Yeah, with their new tiers that they have, I think like with the extra tier, you get access to their game catalog, which has like a whole bunch of current hits and some newer like current gen games or late last gen games. So, and then the final tier they have just gets you access to a classic catalog that allows you to play like old games with trophies attached to them. I don't really care for either one of them because a lot of the stuff that they have on the extra stuff game catalog, I've already bought because they're games that I have no problem spending money and buying a game that if I think it's good, like, yes, I will buy it because I will support the people
Who make it, yeah.
Yeah, like it's the same.
So
it's the same thing I've said with music before, where if I enjoy a band, I will buy their album as opposed to just streaming it on Spotify because I want to support them for the work that they've put into it.
Yeah. So I can pretty safely say that you're not their target audience in a couple of ways. So what I can say is that, for instance, when I just bought the Xbox, if it hadn't been for the Live, the Game Pass, I never would have bought the Xbox because I would have had to buy the system and then buy hundreds of dollars worth of games to make it useful.
Yeah.
For somebody who's been in that ecosystem for years and has that back catalog that they can play, that's maybe not as attractive. But for somebody just coming into the system, having that, even if there are games that maybe you would have bought if you had been there for a while, having that instant access to a lot more games for, even if you only keep it for a few months while you build up a little bit of a catalog, that's super, super valuable. So, like, I think it's fine. I think they did a decent job with it. It's just enough with the fucking tiers.
Yeah.
Not everything needs 15 different tiers.
No. Yeah. Like, I will give PS Plus credit. There's been quite a few gems that when they were initially released were PS Plus games that a lot of people got for free. I look at Rocket League.
Yeah.
When
Fall
Guys, yeah. When they first came out, they were free to play on if you're a PS Plus user. And man, I played the shit out of Rocket League. We played the hell out of Fall Guys just because it was just nutty fun, like online with your buddies and stuff. Lately, a lot of the PS Plus games have been very lackluster. This month, I believe the Hot Wheels racing game, which is actually really good. And if you are a PS Plus member, get that game because it's a great racing game. Is one of the free games. And then Injustice 2, which was like a fighting game that came out a few years ago. Like, okay, so.
Yeah, it's a weird mix. PS Plus has always been a little bit weird and very hit and miss. But to some degree, you could kind of let that slide when it was like a $14 a month service. Because like, well, if I get one or two mediocre games and one good game that I might have actually purchased every quarter, let's say, that's still worth it. Like, that's still a decent value prop. Plus you get discounts on other stuff and you get freebies and whatever. Like, that's a decent value prop. The catch is it becomes worth less and less as you like that service just goes down in value over time because you've played through those games and you're done with them. And I think the same is somewhat true of Xbox Game Pass. And any subscription service for that matter. So I don't think, as much as it seems like those services would be for the heavy gamers, I think the opposite. I think those games, those services are for the casual gamers like myself who don't mind the monthly fee if it means that I can turn on my system and grab a game and play. And I don't have to worry about figuring out which of the 7 games that I might buy is actually worth my $50 and whether I'm going to play it for more than 3 hours or anything else. I can turn it on. I can go to the first one that looks interesting, download it, and be playing. And I'm happy. So I think I'm the target market for these things because I don't mind the monthly fee. And I really like that I don't have to worry about actually doing the purchase.
Yeah.
I only own like 3 games.
Yeah.
Everything else is through PS Plus or I play through Xbox Live. Well, okay, Steam, I actually own a bunch, but only because they don't offer. If Steam offered a subscription service, I'd probably Valve.
Yeah.
So like I think that's how that works.
Yeah. I'm actually surprised Steam doesn't do anything like that.
I could see it being hard with just their you probably game developers would probably have to like register to be part of it.
They'd have to opt in, which honestly, I mean, I think the reason that you haven't seen that is because until fairly recently, Valve didn't have a good platform story. Because the problem is, like, as a Mac user, anything Steam's going to offer in a subscription is going to be worth way less to me than somebody who has Windows. And if you have both, even better. now that SteamOS is getting closer and closer and closer to a real product, like the fact that you can run Windows games decently on it, now that they've got the Steam Deck, I can envision Valve releasing a like Steam console. I mean, technically they kind of already did a while back, but it wasn't really, I don't think they did. I think they let other companies build them.
Oh, I thought you were talking about that little Steam Link thing that they did. That little box that you could plug into your TV and...
that just streamed games, right?
Yeah, I think that was from your PC to your big TV.
When they brought out SteamOS, there were a bunch of companies that built like the Steam box, but I don't think Valve built one. I think that was just other companies built it and installed the OS on it.
Yeah.
And they were cool. I don't think I ever got one, but we had one in the lounge at work. They were cool. And I think as they move closer and closer to that world where more and more things are playable in SteamOS, assuming they continue down that path, I think then you will see a subscription.
Yeah. I thought when they first started talking about the Steam controller, I thought that they had like some kind of set-top box.
That was yes and no. That was in the same. That was at the same time as SteamOS came out. And I don't think Valve built one, but like there were a few different companies that all built what are called Steam boxes. Mm-hmm. And like you could get them with Steam machines. If you go to the Steam store, it looks like the actual page is empty now, but they called them Steam machines. But I don't think Valve built any. It was all like hey, MSI or hey, Falcon or whoever, do you want to build a machine? And we'll vet that it has certain minimum requirements, and then we'll label it a Steam machine, which kind of worked. They were interesting, but they never really took off. And then the Steam Deck, I think, is starting to take off. I saw the article that they had surpassed 1 million units, which is not bad.
Yeah.
So I think as they build out that ecosystem, you might see a subscription. But I think for now, it would be too complex. Because the thing, as someone who makes apps for a living, the one thing that's always the hardest about any new feature, service, subscription, anything like that is educating the user as to how it works.
Yeah.
And I can tell you right now, just like trying to think through mentally, like what would I tell a user who doesn't understand technology about where they can play these games and which games they can play and how the subscription, like it'd be a nightmare. So I don't think you'll see it until they have a platform.
Right. Well, speaking of the Steam Deck,
yeah, it's no longer bullshit.
Yeah. And it looks like if you want to buy one, you can actually buy one now.
1 to 2 weeks is what they said on the website when I went there. I don't know if that's Canada or if that's true of most places. It might be shorter. Other places might be a little bit longer. But they are now shipping them. You can buy one and they will ship it to you.
Yep.
I want one so bad.
I was going to say, Sarah, when's the order going in? I don't think I can. I just bought an Xbox. I think that would be beyond irresponsible.
Xbox has been prioritized over Steam Deck at our house too.
I really have to update Sarah's OS.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's buffering a lot.
Yes.
I think we've talked about this off camera a bit. I don't think we've talked about it too much on camera. I think my problem with the Steam Deck is I have the laptop and the Android. We've talked about the Android tablet game systems basically that are springing up all over the place. They'll be able to play Xbox Live. Potentially they'll be able to play some Steam games, maybe at some point. Hard to say. They can play all kinds of Android mobile games. I don't know that the value prop is there for me to get an actual Steam Deck.
I think for me though, I play so many indie and cozy games that personally for me,
you also use your Switch.
I don't use it that much.
No?
I actually use it more.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. All right. Well, we'll all buy a Steam Deck. We'll all buy a Steam Deck and we'll see which one uses it the least. It'll be me.
It would be you.
It would 100% be you. Yeah. 2 weeks later, it'd be like, hey, did you open it yet? No, it's still in the box.
I think it would be one of those things where, like you say now, like, oh, I probably wouldn't play it a lot, but you would. 100% you would. The second it's in your hand, and then I'd be coming upstairs and you have cobwebs all over you, but you'd still be going nuts on your Steam Deck.
Yeah, probably.
Can you plug me in?
Well, considering how much I did play my Switch Lite when I first got it, because I was so heavy into Stardew Valley at the time. And then
So what you have to do is when we get a Steam Deck, you install Stardew Valley
on it. Yeah.
And then I'm going to have a hookers and blow party.
I heard hookers and blow. I was actually looking something else up, but
that was just well timed.
That was well timed. I might have to. Okay, so what I was thinking was, this was my thought process. Letting you in on this thought process. I was like, I'm almost tempted to buy a Steam Deck, even knowing that I probably won't get that much use of it, because between the three of us, it would get used. And that's really what would stop me from buying it more than anything. Like it's a little spendy and everything else, but buying it and then not having it used would be a pain in the ass. And then I was like, well, that won't work because Steam accounts and everything else. So I checked the FAQ and it does support multiple accounts. And it does local saving of all the different stuff. And it's apparently easy to switch back and forth. So we'll let you know next week if I've bought a Steam Deck.
I don't know.
I think I could be convinced if it was something that I was buying with the intention of sharing it with the three of us so that we could try out games. Because part of me is like, oh man, it'd be nice to be able to actually talk about Steam Deck really first person. I've played it very briefly.
Like a hands-on thing?
Yeah, I've played it very briefly. A couple of friends do have them and I have played with it, but I haven't really played with it. So part of me is like, if it's going to get used and it's useful to checking out new stuff, yeah, I might get one. We'll let you know next week.
Yeah.
I may have put in an order for one. The other thing that was stopping me aside from the cost was just the fact that I hate the whole give us $1,000 and we'll send you one someday.
Yeah.
I hate that.
Yeah. I don't I get the three different models, but man, I fucking hate just different models of a system. I get it, not everybody's going to be able to afford a $1,000 Steam Deck that's top end with what was the biggest 512 gigabyte hard drive or something?
Yeah, which honestly still doesn't seem all that
big.
No.
And that was the other thing, with solid state drives being so freaking small, and you mean to tell me you couldn't get a terabyte fucking solid state drive put into this thing?
Oh, they could have.
Yeah.
It would have been more expensive.
Yeah.
There is a point where you have to consider whether people are actually going to buy it.
Yeah.
The thing that I'm actually surprised that they didn't do is, and maybe they're expecting an aftermarket or something. I would have expected there to be some sort of peripheral that you could attach to it that would take a solid state drive.
Yeah. I was even going to say, I imagine I could see someday even just having the ability to either buy them from a third party or something that allows customization of them.
Yeah, well, the Steam dock,
Yeah.
the Steam Deck dock, the Steam Deck docking station. I had to look up what it's actually called. Because I would have called it the Steam Dock if I were them personally, because why not, right?
Yeah.
It has USB ports and stuff, so presumably it doesn't say here that you can include a drive, but it says USB peripherals. So I'm assuming probably. So it clearly understands the idea of USB. Obviously, of course it does. So surely it could have a hard drive plugged into it. I'm just a little surprised that it doesn't have just a slot the drive in the back of it. And see, now they're making me want to buy this because they've got this picture of it with it in the dock hooked up to a monitor and a keyboard and a mouse.
So they have micro
Valve.
SD.
Then that's just a computer.
Yeah, but it's a cool computer. Have I mentioned I'm a nerd?
Yeah, they have a micro SD card slot. So I mean, if that's the kind of but I mean that's not.
How big can you get micro SDs?
Big terabytes.
Yeah? Oh, okay.
Yeah, at least 1 terabyte.
I'm sorry, I don't buy them very often.
Well, you gotta shoot more 8K video.
That's right.
And or buy more books for my Kobo.
There you go.
That's right.
You use a Kobo?
I do.
I found her. The person that uses Kobo. Kidding. Yeah. So the micro SD card makes some degree of sense because, presumably it just copies it over to the faster drive and then runs from there. Although many games would probably run fine from the the SD card as well.
Yeah.
They're pretty quick these days. I mean, hell, if it can record 8K video raw on the fly, I think it can probably manage that. So yeah, the more I look at this, the more I want one. I'm not buying one right now though. I'll have to at least sleep on it. But no, it's good that you can get one and actually like you can buy one and actually get it. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
And I'm very tempted to check one out.
Yeah. If you've gotten a hold of a Steam Deck, let us know below in the comments what you think of it. Is it good, great, awesome, fun, cool? Want to let us borrow it? No, I'm just joking.
Ship it to P.O. Box.
We don't have a P.O. Box.
No.
Someday we'll have a P.O. Box.
Well, you know what I would play on a Steam Deck if I had one this weekend?
What's that?
A bunch of demos from Steam Next Fest.
That was a terrible segue. You should feel embarrassed.
I'm not.
No, it wasn't even that bad, actually.
Yeah, Steam is having another Next Fest on right now, and I've picked so many demos.
Yeah, this is probably just me having not paid enough attention to Steam in general. But I didn't know that Next Fest was like a recurring thing.
To be honest, I didn't before now either. I thought it was just like a thing that happened maybe annually in the middle of summer.
Yeah.
Like when we first were talking about it. But yeah, no.
Yeah.
It seems to be happening quarterly.
Yeah, which is cool.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, lots of demos, lots of live streams if you're into that.
Yeah. A lot of them, from what I've seen so far, I haven't gone through all of the list yet, but a lot of them seem to be very, well, probably about the same as last time too, but a lot of them are survival, city builders, simulations, that sort of thing.
I think that just comes with the indie territory.
Yeah, because I could see them probably being a little bit easier to build, maybe. I don't know. All games are hard to build to an extent, but I think maybe easier to test. That would make sense.
There's a smaller testing service than something that's like an open world game.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. This the one thing I really like about this Next Fest. The one thing I really like about this Next Fest thing is and it's also one thing that I've really missed about a lot of gaming in general is just being able to try demos out of games that haven't been released yet, just to kind of get a feel of what's in store. I remember with the PlayStation 1 and the 2 and even the Dreamcast, when you'd get the monthly official magazines for them, you would get a demo disc with little demos for either games. The first time I played Metal Gear Solid was from an official PlayStation magazine that had the opening part where you initially break into Shadow Moses and you just come up from the water. It was that part to the elevator and they let you play that. And that was just in a $6 magazine. And it had so many different demos you could try. I made so many purchases just based off of a lot of the demos that I played in that. And it kind of bugs me. You're starting to see it come back now on like, especially PlayStation, where you can play certain demos of games that are about to come out, whatever. But it like was a huge thing. And then it seemed to have just completely died off. Except for PCs, like PC gaming, there's always like early access or demos or what have you not. But for console-based players, it was really, really hard to get like demos of things.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know if that's totally true. Maybe it is.
This is just my own experience.
Yeah, I feel like I always saw demos on the PlayStation Store. I just never actually grabbed them. But I might be... I don't know how many there were for console. That might be fair for console. For PC, there's definitely been lots of demos. I think to some degree, the difference is that back in the day, things weren't like gameplay footage wasn't easy to disseminate. Whereas now it's just like, check it out on YouTube. Watch somebody doing a playthrough of it. And then they don't have to actually ship out code. I'm not saying that's a good solution. I think that's probably if something killed demos, I think that's it, is that rather than shipping somebody like a physical media or a digital download on the PlayStation, you can just say like, hey, check it out on YouTube. You can watch us play through it. Whereas certainly in the older times, like the before 2000 for sure, that wasn't really much of an option. So I think that's probably what happened.
Yeah.
But they are definitely, I have been noticing more demos, even on Steam, like the new releases on Steam. I've been, as we know, I've been combing through the new releases daily for a month and a half, 2 months at least. There's a lot more demos available now than there ever were before.
Yeah.
They're also, I would say, a lot of them are a lot shittier than they used to be.
Yeah. And that's this is another thing that I really enjoy about the Game Pass is that there have been games that I've seen, and this is my counter to what you're saying about watch the YouTube video.
Sure.
A lot of games, when I see certain games, you just have to like kind of play it to get a feel for the combat system, timing, and all that crap.
For sure.
And there was one game from the last Next Fest called Moonscars that when I initially looked at it, it looked like a Castlevania kind of Metroidvania hack and slash game that reminded me a lot of a game called Blasphemous. So when I seen that, I was like, ooh, I'm probably going to dig that. So I didn't get a chance to play the demo, but it's on Game Pass. So I installed it. And when I tried it, it controlled like shit. Like I did not like anything of the animations and the graphics were great, but the actual gameplay was like really, really freaking sloppy. And it immediately turned me off the game. So it's one saving grace that there's $30 I didn't spend on something that I probably would have if it weren't for Game Pass or like these Next Fest demos and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
no, I definitely am not claiming that YouTube videos are a good alternative to demos. But I think that they are an easier alternative for the developer.
Yes. It's a good way to build hype.
Yeah. And everything's about hype these days.
It seems so.
So, yeah, I think we've gone through most of the stuff that we have here. But Sarah, I want to know, what are you playing recently?
I played Lay. I think Lay was the most Nope, that's a lie. Well, actually, I think that was one of the more recent games I played. I have a little review of it on our website now.
Wait, we have a website?
We have a website.
I did call it out last week too. Yeah, dicetopixels.com.
Yeah.
We've been posting daily reviews, just little snippets, nothing groundbreaking.
Nope.
But we're going to continue posting content there until we run out of content to post.
Yep. Yeah, I think that was really the most recent thing I've played, other than a little mobile game called Casting Away, which...
Fishing?
Yep.
How was it?
It's really chill and cute, and I kind of really like it. It's fun.
Cool. I like it.
My Overwatch 2 review will be going up shortly, and sneak peek, it's going to say you're going to have to wait in queue for like another 60,000. So
yeah, we could just make it an article that just says queue number 6084 and then post the real article in a week.
Yeah.
Cool. I've been just playing incremental epic hero too.
Yeah.
It's weird. I did post a little snippet, a little blurb about it on the old website. This game's a little bit interesting in that it is one of the first games in a long time. So being a bit of a nerd, I have more than a couple computers in the house.
Shut up.
Only like 20. It's fine. Including some mini computers. I don't have one like within arm's reach, but I have several of these little IoT mini computers. And I now have one that right now it's running on my laptop. But when it's not running on my laptop, this game, Incremental Epic Hero 2, is running on that machine 24/7 on a monitor in my bedroom. In my office, actually. Yeah, this is the first game in a long time that I fired up, and I was like, this needs a dedicated computer running it 24/7.
I knew you were digging it when we got here today, and you were just like,
it.
oh, I got to show you this game. I got to show you. Look at this.
It's pretty wild. It's one of the most in-depth incremental games. It's not idle. I keep wanting to call it idle Epic Hero, and that's not what it is. It is incremental. It can be idle for sure, but it's not really. You like interacting with it definitely massively speeds stuff up, and there's nothing like, oh, you've sort of exhausted your available time today, so just wait until tomorrow. You can sink infinite amounts of time into this game. And it's very cool. I like it a lot. I can wholeheartedly recommend it if you want your life to be ruined. And I will be running it 24/7 for
The foreseeable future.
Yeah, until that computer burns out.
It's funny because when I was looking at the images that you had posted with it, it looked instantly kind of familiar to me because there was this web-based incremental game that looks a lot like it that is very in-depth as well. I can't remember what it's called now, but it
was it Incremental Epic Hero 1?
I'm trying to find out honestly if it was.
It probably was.
It probably was.
It's also in early access and free.
Yes, it's early access, it's free, and I can confirm that you do not need to, at least as of now, and I said this in my review on the website, as of now, you do not need to spend any money on this game ever. 100%. Yeah. Nothing in this game is not unlockable with everything is free. You can unlock it. It's not even that painful. Well, beyond the fact that it's an insane incremental that probably takes years to play through, it is not difficult to unlock things. You get a decent amount of the currency called Epic Coins from daily quests, and it's really good. It's really well done. That said, it's in early access. I can't guarantee that it's not going to turn into microtransaction hell when it's released. But in its current state, it's honestly really good. It's kind of crazy how good it is.
Yeah, I noticed there was a couple. There's 4 different packs that you can pay money for, like a starter pack. Shit like that. There's a few things that you can buy, and you can just straight up buy Epic Coins, which are the in-game currency. But you get those every morning, like every 24 hours, it resets your daily quests and you can get more. And also every, 6-8 hours, whatever, you get 100 coins just for cloud saving your game. So they aren't overly stingy with them. Yeah.
And given the length that I expect this game to take to play, I don't see any reason that you wouldn't be able to unlock all of the unlocks using the awarded coins.
Yeah.
That said, if you want to speed things up, you can definitely spend extra money. I don't know. Just so far, it is absolutely doing it for me. And it's sort of a 2D battle simulator and everything. So the specs requirements is not high, as evidenced by the fact that I'm running it on a little IoT, a fanless IoT computer. I'm loving it. It's my new jam. It's pretty much all I've played this week. I checked out a couple of minor things because I thought I might find another Morris Cave.
Yeah.
But
the greatest game ever made.
Greatest game ever made. It's 71 cents. The best game I've ever paid $1 for, let me tell you.
How far did you get in that?
Not that far. Not that I haven't played it. It's really hard.
Yeah.
Like if you want a hard game, Morris Cave is hard and very punishing, unforgiving. Oh, actually, while I'm thinking of it, I checked out and I did write about this on the website as well. What was it? 4 or 5 weeks ago, we talked about Fantasy Background Generator.
Yes.
Cool little app that just generates fantasy sort of islands that you can walk around. They have done several updates to it, including the one that makes it the most useful, which is you can control the amount of fog now.
Oh, good.
Which was the biggest complaint that any of us had with it. It looked really cool and everything else. And then they actually also added like a sunrise and sunset mode.
Oh, nice.
And I think a night mode as well. So they've improved it quite a bit. Mm-hmm. And if you are looking for something to generate quick backgrounds or fantasy settings for your D&D or anything like that, it was good. Now I think it probably rises to the great category.
That's awesome.
Because you actually made a background for our episode 10 thumbnail on YouTube.
Yeah, and it was a bit of a pain at the time because we clicked through a bunch. We were all sitting here, we were clicking through them, and it's like, oh, that looks really good, but it's so foggy. That looks really good, but it's so foggy.
Yeah.
And now you have an actual slider that can control that. And so I do think now that is a great tool. Before it was kind of cool. Mm-hmm. Now I think it's a legitimately great tool.
That's awesome.
Nice.
Yay.
Yeah. What's our time at? I feel like we're reaching the end of our
50 minutes.
Oh, okay. We're not too bad then.
Yep.
I finally finished Tunic.
Oh yeah, you did.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I Tunic really, I enjoyed it. I remember this was one that you had started playing back in another life.
Streamed a bit of it. Yeah.
It's a very, very cute game. It's my biggest comparison to it would be an old school Zelda.
Yeah, it's like a voxel 2.5D Zelda.
Yeah, and it's really, really neat. Like you learn everything. You can't understand any of the language until you collect manual pages from the game's instruction book scattered throughout the world, and it's really, really, really cool. I'm not going to spoil anything, but one of my biggest gripes with it was the stamina meter. I hated it.
Well, you just don't like stamina.
There was an option to turn it off in the game, so I highly recommend turning off the stamina meter.
Now, out of curiosity, did you have to learn about it from the manual, or did you find is it separate?
No, it's actually like in the options and
right
accessibility. They have a bunch of there's a no fail mode you could activate so that you just never die, which is lame. I never did that. But
that's
the stamina,
more for like kids and stuff.
Yeah,
and
like
people that do need it more.
Yeah, like the stamina thing, because it reminded me so much. The game itself reminded me so much of an old school Zelda game. I kept thinking like, well, shit, what if I had like a stamina meter when I'm playing A Link to the Past and I can't do 4 sword swipes like I used to, or you can't go like, because your stamina meter would just drop like after 2. I hate stamina meters. In Dark Souls games, I get it. I'm fine with it, but I hate stamina meters in other games.
Chad hates all endings and stamina meters.
Yes.
Yeah, I should check out Tunic again. I started playing it on stream, and then I did intend to come back to it, but I never did.
Yeah, 'cause you bought that, didn't you?
Oh yeah, I've got it. One of these days I'll play it again.
It's on Game Pass too, I believe.
Yeah, I saw it there. I have it on Steam, so I'd probably play it on PC. But yeah, it's a cute little game. Incidentally, for just a little fun fact for anyone who didn't know, voxel, which is what this game is, it stands for volumetric pixel, and it means that each pixel that makes up each square on the screen is made up of colored pixels. So that in theory, if you were to like cut one in half, it would be textured all the way through. It's just a rendering technology that it lends itself to like cutesy animation styles.
Ah, that's cool.
That's what voxel means.
Cool.
And you play as a fox.
And God, I hope it actually stands for volumetric pixel, because I'm like 99% sure of that. And if not, I'm going to look like such a fucking asshole. But no, that's
lose
what that,
all of your nerd cred.
Oh, bad. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
but that's what it is. That's the rendering style of it. And it lends itself very well to like generated textures, because you don't have to generate the texture, you generate the object. Which sounds like should be harder, but is actually easier. So yeah,
weird.
It's kind of weird. So there's your little, hopefully correct nerd lesson of the day from Adrian. Cool. Yeah, I don't think I've got incremental epic hero. I mean, come on, that's what it's all about.
How much Farming Simulator did you play this week? You didn't play any, did you?
It's worse than that.
You deleted it.
No. Well, it's Game Pass, so I mean, it wouldn't matter if I had. You know how I was commenting about the Steam box, the Steam Deck, if I bought it, would never leave the package. I have not turned on the Series X since like 3 days after I bought it. I've had it for like 3 weeks now. I played it for about 2.5 days. So I either need to play it some more, or if you want to borrow a Series X. Yeah. So no, I have tried Xbox.
Feels like kid swapping, where it's just like, okay, well, you give us a Series X, we'll give you the PS5.
That's right. Yeah. Oh, I'm horrible. Yeah, no, it's a great system. But part of it is I've been trying to suss out whether or not the Xbox Live stuff actually works. And I just keep having like mixed reactions with it, because it'll be great one day and then shit and then great and then shit. So like
You mean the cloud
game?
Yeah.
The Xbox Live. Xbox Live gaming.
The cloud gaming.
Yeah. I don't know why I keep calling it live gaming. It's cloud gaming. Mixed. I think I'm done giving it the time of day. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'll still check it out. It seems to work better in the evenings, Eastern time at least. Which is weird and backwards. Yeah. I don't know what to say about it. When it works great. And but half the time, I'd say it's like it's literally flip a coin whether or not it works. So that's part of it, is I've been trying to play that so that I have some idea of whether or not it works.
Yeah.
And you don't need the Series X for that. So yeah. So anyways, I'll play some more Xbox at some point. And maybe I'll buy a Steam Deck.
Jesus.
God.
I'm the worst.
Well, one thing you won't buy is a PS5 because nobody can.
Won't buy a PS5 for two reasons. Nobody can. And two, honestly, the more and more Sony's doing, the less and less I want it.
Yeah. It was actually a conversation I got into with a couple friends on Forever Gaming, where we were just how disappointed we've been with the PlayStation 5 since its launch. Like there hasn't been really anything that's been like, oh my God, holy hell. It's either like an upscaled PS4 game or like another sequel or like it's...
Yeah. I don't know. I'm kind of torn on it. I mean, I had pre-ordered one, never got it.
Yeah.
But between the controllers breaking and, PS Plus being weird and basically everything being available on Xbox anyways, I can't see myself ever buying one, which is weird because, PS4 was my jam. I played the hell out of some PS4.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think we'll probably call it there. Sarah, did you have anything else you wanted to talk about?
Nope.
Are you sure? All right. Well, should we quickly mention that the Mario movie is going to be a train wreck?
Yeah.
No comment.
Yeah.
I don't see how it could not be a train wreck.
No.
So you can, when it's the most successful movie ever made, you can clip this and call me an idiot. But
Yep.
That and the Vauxhall thing that I probably got wrong.
Well, I mean, Jack Black will probably be amazing in it because...
Well, they've got good people for the movie, like Chris Pratt, Jack Black. You don't like Chris Pratt?
I mean, as Mario?
Oh, well, but okay, like, Sarah, when I say Mario, who would you have play Mario?
Not Chris Pratt.
But can you think of anyone that you'd be like, oh, they'd make a good Mario? Because, like, I can't.
Yeah, that's why you just don't make a Mario movie. They tried that already.
No, I agree. Don't make the damn movie. I'm just saying, like, you had to pick someone. Like, who are you going to pick? It's not going to be somebody good for the role because there isn't anybody good for the role. Maybe Danny
someone's
DeVito.
uncle. Yeah.
No, it's going to be a train wreck. So,
Fuck. I can't think of his name. And I can't think of the show, that Mob Boss family show from a while back. What the fuck was it called?
You're talking about like Meet the Fockers guy? The
No,
guy who was in
no.
that?
Sopranos.
The
guy that played the main...
The serious mob movie.
The serious mob.
But it's that'd be a little bit hard now.
Yeah, a little bit difficult. Yep.
Yeah.
It's a me, Mario.
On the other hand, using a dead actor for Mario goes with the whole not making the movie in the first place. So
Exactly.
maybe
Perfect.
a great choice.
Yep.
Yeah. Anyways, now that we've shit on that enough,
Hell yeah.
yeah, we'll call it there. Thanks so much for hanging out. We love every single one of you. We see you listening on Spotify. You only hear us, but we see you.
Yes.
And that sounded really creepy.
Yes. Your ear holes are beautiful.
That made it so much worse.
We don't
Yay!
actually see you.
No, we do not have cameras stationed in your house, John. Yeah, so we'll catch y'all next week, same time, same place. Tell everyone you know that they have to listen to us and or watch us, and drop some comments. We're pointing at Sarah. Why are we pointing at Sarah?
Why are we pointing at Sarah?
What else do they have to do, Sarah?
Visit the website.
Definitely that. Probably
Click the bell.
Yeah, that
Click
one's
the
good.
bell. Yeah.
Well, and the subscribe if they haven't.
Yeah. And check out the Discord.
Oh, I thought he was just saying like call us.
Well, that too.
He always points to his
you
phone.
can. Our number is 6.
The old party line system.
Yes.
Thank you so much for hanging out. We love you all. We will.
Thanks
see you
for
soon.
watching, Will.
Hasta la vista, baby.